Cacio e pepe is Italian for basically cheese and pepper. It's a Roman dish, and that's really all that's in it. You've got hot pasta, you've got grated pecorino romano, and you've got ground black pepper. Now, I'm not gonna put a ton of pepper in mine because I freaking don't like a lot of black pepper, but you are welcome to add as much pepper as you like. And in Italy, if you're in Rome, they add a lot of black pepper to the point where you're like, oh, that is like a nuclear amount of black pepper. What we've got here is grated pecorino romano. Now, a really important key to success is this cheese needs to be at room temperature. Totally fine. Cheese does not go bad at room temperature, I promise. That's actually how cheese is made. Same with yogurt. Like, it sits at room temperature and it becomes cheese, right? So grating this and then letting it sit out is fine. But another really important point is this is really finely ground. Like, this is halfway to a powder. The reason why that's really important is because this is going to be cooked, this cheese is going to be melted only with the heat of 1 cup of pasta cooking water and the heat of the noodles themselves. So if these pieces of cheese are any bigger, there's not going to be enough heat to melt them all the way through. So pecorino romano is a really delicious cheese. It's a sheep's milk cheese. It has like this beautiful bite. I think sometimes it could be made with goat's milk as well, but this particular one is a sheep's milk cheese, and it's delicious. For this dish, reserving a cup of pasta water is so important. Without the pasta water, you actually don't have a dish, right? So while your pasta is cooking, you get it started, it's kind of doing its thing, it's not all the way cooked yet, we're gonna make our sauce. And in the middle of the pasta cooking, we're gonna take this little cup here, and we're gonna dip it in, and we're gonna grab some water while the pasta is still cooking. We're gonna put it in here, we're gonna mush it all together with this wooden spoon. That hot water is going to melt this cheese. We're gonna add the pepper, and then it can sit for just a minute or two while the pasta finishes cooking. We immediately take the hot pasta and put it into the bowl, toss it with the tongs, and then it's done. The reason that you have to use pasta cooking water and not just regular boiling hot water is the pasta cooking water has starch in it. The starch that kind of like came off the noodles as they were cooking and moving around in the water. And that starch is so important with binding the sauce and holding it together, right? The starch actually thickens the sauce. It thickens the cheese. Like, there's water, like it kind of brings them both together and makes them congeal into one beautiful creamy sauce. If you don't use starchy water, it's not going to have the same texture. When it comes to salt in this dish, you really don't need to add much more. This is a pretty salty cheese, and we've already salted the pasta water, so the pasta will be seasoned as well. So in the end, taste it. If you like it, you're welcome to add more salt, but I don't think you're gonna need it between the salt in the cheese and the salt in the water. If you like a saucier sauce, like, you're always welcome to add a little bit more pasta water. So we're gonna reserve some and use it, but before you strain your pasta out, you can always take a second cup and grab a little bit more extra water. Now on this dish, you have to move fast. And the water has to be super boiling hot, like straight out of the pot. You can't like strain it out, let it sit there and let the water kind of cool off while you like fuss around and do whatever you're gonna do. Like, this dish needs to be made quickly. It's super easy and it's super fast, but that means you need to move fast. Everything needs to be super hot and you need to have everything ready to go. So we've got our pasta cooking right now. We've got our little measuring cup here for pulling out the pasta water. We've got our bowl of shredded cheese. We've got our wooden spoon for initially making the sauce. We've got our tongs for tossing the noodles in the sauce. We've got our black pepper. And in case we need it, we've got a little extra salt. So we're gonna start making our sauce.